All right, Lori here. Let's do some VLOOKUP and some pivot tables and maybe a slicer or a filter or something like that. So the very first thing we're going to do is take our data. You can see our data right now is consisting of numbers, just numbers. First thing we're going to do is copy. Well, we can go down here and just do it right here. And we're going to move our copy. We're going to copy it, create a copy by clicking right on create a copy. And we're going to name this one, data 2, our working data. That way if something goes wrong, we've got our regular data untouched. So our working data looks just like our data, as you can see at this point. We're going to pop it over here right between the two. All right, so the first thing we need to do is create our data tables. And these are the things that help us translate these numbers into the words that are a lot easier to work with in pivot tables. So the first thing we do is we go over here and we create a table. We highlight everything that we want in this first table. We hit insert table. And where is the data for your table? It's right here. Does my table have headers? Yes, it does. Okay, great. And now I can design it. See, it automatically pops up table design for me. I'm going to make this one blue. And right now it's called table 1, but I probably want to give it a better type of juice. Or we can just go with type. That way it'll be easier to see. All right. Next we do the same thing. We highlight everything for the time of day. We insert a table. And yes, that's correct. And we'll make this one orange. And we'll call this one time of day. I know Reed calls it time, but for me, time of day is a little bit, oh, doesn't like it, must not allow spaces, so we'll just call it time. We now Reed's happy because it's exactly like his. All right, here we go. One more, we highlight everything. We insert table. Yes, that's the correct set of fields. Yes, that's the table has headers. Boom. And we'll make this one gray, and we'll call this one, I think Reed calls it promo, so we'll call it promo 2. And then finally, little table here, insert table. Yep. And let's make this one yellow because it's morning and that's fun. All right, now we've got 3 beautiful tables and they've all got labels. That's perfect. Now we can go over to our working data and start doing our VLOOKUPs. The first thing we want to do is insert a column. And you can do that by hitting Alt-I and return, oops, Alt-I-C. Oops, that's not what we wanted. We're just going to do it the slow way. Insert column. Okay. Alt, right click, insert column, and right click, insert column. The very first thing you want to do, oops. The very first thing you want to do is understand what your data is. So the type sold, that's whether it's carrot juice, apple juice, etc. The second thing you want to do is figure out which ones need to be translated over into words and which ones don't. In this case, quantity sold does not need to be translated. It's just the number of items sold so that we can count them. So we're not going to do this column, but we are going to do VLOOKUP on these 4 columns. So the first thing we're going to do is copy over the, oops, undo, copy over the column title. And I'm just Control-C'ing and Control-V'ing. Great. Next, we're going to do our first VLOOKUP. And VLOOKUP is equals VLOOKUP, parenthesis, and what value do I want to look up? Well, I want to look up this number next to me. I want to change 5 into something. And that something is going to be from the table. And I'll just put in type. If I start putting in type, see how that little thing comes up with a grid? That means that's our table. So that's the one I want. Oops. Type. And then we need a comma. And then when we go to our table, we want it to find the number 5 and instead print what's right in the column next to it. And what the column next to it is called is column 2. So we're going to put a comma there. And then we want an exact match. So we're going to put false. Then we're going to close our parenthesis and it's caret. Well, let's see what happens when we double click on the lower right hand corner. It fills it all in for us. And let's check. Yep, tomato, mixed berry, pineapple. There's another 5. There's another carrot. There's another 3. There's another mixed berry. Looks like it worked. All right, let's do the next one. Equals v-lookup. You got to be able to spell lookup though. And at this hour, I might not be very good at it. We're going to look up this value in the table marked time. And we want it to print whatever's in the column next to that number, and we want it to be an exact match, so we type false. And look, we've got something that popped in. That looks good, 10 a.m. to noon. We're going to go ahead and double click on the lower right hand corner and fill that all in. Our next VLOOKUP is going to be boring for you because you all know how to do it now. We're going to click on what we're looking up. We're going to click on where we want to promo. And column 2, false. Yep, it didn't like that. Let's go back and see what we called that table. I'm pretty sure it was promo. Table design. Oh, it didn't change its name. We didn't change that one. Promo. There we go. Names already exist. Names should be unique. All right. Well, this one's called size. Oh, this one's called table 4. Now it's called size. All right. Let's see. I can go in and equals v-lookup. This value in we're going to pause here and figure out what happened. All right, well, we've diagnosed what the problem was. For some reason, I did not properly rename this table, but I've done that now. I've highlighted the whole table and see how I can use the word promotion. Somehow it thinks there's a promo table on here somewhere. I don't want to go find it or find out what's going on, so I just renamed it promotion. And in this one, we just highlighted it and you can see we named it size. So let's double check, but it looks like our type is correct. Our table for type, our table for time is correct. Notice that I'm looking up at this upper left-hand corner to figure out what it says. All right, so let's try and do promo now. Equals v-lookup of the value next to us in the table array called promotion, comma, 2, comma, false. Remember, false means I want an exact match. There we go, free protein, looking good. Double click, done. And one more, equals v-lookup. And we're going to look for the number 3 in the table array called size. And we want the second column used, and we want it to be an exact match. Close parentheses, and we're done. Large. Perfect. All right. Now, this is actually a formula, as you can see up here, and we don't want it to be a formula because pivot tables doesn't work with formulas. It works with words or characters or something that's trying to match. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the whole thing. We're going to hit Control or right-click, copy, and we're going to go back and hit that thing again, and we're going to paste special, and we're going to paste, values. And that means it's going to paste the words instead of the formulas. Let's go ahead and see if that worked. Yep, that's now carrot. See, it's carrot right here. This is a time. This is protein power. And here's the size. So now we can get rid of these columns with numbers so that our pivot table is nice and clean. And get rid of size purchased. Now remember, if you get rid of something that you didn't mean to, that's what this oh dear button is. Some people call it something else, but I call it the oh dear button. Anyway, now we're ready to do a pivot table. So we're going to, first of all, get rid of our top row because pivot tables like to be really clear what you're working with. So if you've got something extraneous, you need to get rid of it. The pivot tables also only like one column or one row for headers or descriptors, and then all your data should be underneath. So remember, we're going to go in and hit Control A, and that's going to highlight everything. And then we're going to insert a pivot table. And we're going to put it on a new worksheet. We want to put it on a new worksheet because we're going to use one for every question we answer. So I have printed out the questions that we're asking about this so that I don't have to try and bounce between screens and make you seasick. The first thing we want to know is, when do you sell the most product across the whole day? So we're interested in time of day and the quantity sold, the sum of all of the ones that were in that last column. And here we have it. This is the sum of quantity sold, 108, 107, 122, and 103. We've got a winner here, and that is, oops, if I could do that, let's use yellow, 122. And that's the answer to our question 1. And the question is, when do you sell the least product across the whole day? Well, that is noon to 4 p.m. We're going to make that orange. There you go. You've answered 1 and 2. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to double click on the little tab down here, and I'm going to put Q1 and 2. I've got answers to questions 1 and 2. I'm going to go back to my data, to my working data. I'm going to, see, it's already highlighted, but just to be sure, I'm going to click on it anywhere inside the data, hit Control A, or if I'm on a Mac, it will be Command A, and I'm going to insert another pivot table because I've got another question to answer. Okay, looks good. We're going to get a new sheet, and this is going to be, what is the most popular flavor of juice across the whole day? So we're going to type sold, and across the whole day, so we'll do quantity sold. And remember, we can conditionally format this by going here, going to Home, Conditional Formatting, and Color Schemes. And Reed likes this one, so we'll pick it, where green is high and red is low. And that's the sum of quantity sold by flavor. And that tells us that cranberry is our least popular flavor and apple is our most popular flavor. So that's number 3. And then that's it. So we're going to go down here, double click, question 3. Now, if you think you've got this and you don't want to see me do the rest of the answers to the questions, you can pop out now. Have a great day. But if you want to see me answer all the questions, we're going to do it together. All right. Next, we go to our working data, pop anywhere on it, Control A, insert pivot table. We want it in its own sheet. Beautiful. And this is number 4. What is the most popular size of juice across the whole day? So we want to find our size purchased across the whole day. So we don't, no time constraints, no flavor constraints, that's it. And we'll conditionally format this. Home, conditional format, color scheme. Great. There we go. Most popular size is medium and least popular size is large. I can understand that. A large juice would be a lot of juice, but clearly 129 people bought that. And that's great. Now it wants to know what flavor sells the most from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Let's see if we can answer that question right in here. So let's add time of day as a column. And see, we still have our grand total that we can use to answer question 4. Oh, no. This is, forget it. We can't do it here. So we'll undo this. Undo. All right, let's go back and answer another one. This is question 4. Working data, Control A, insert pivot table. All right, now we're number 5. What flavor sells the most from 6 to 10? Flavor is type. Quantity sold is our value. And we need a time of day. Now Reed brought this down into filters. You can also bring this down into columns, but now we've got to try and figure out, we need to look at the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. time period, which is right here, and figure out via conditional formatting or some other way that cranberry is the least popular and that 24, the orange juice is the most popular during that time of day. You can also take your time of day and make it a filter. Because we're specifically interested in just the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. period, we can choose that one. Now we're only looking at the data for 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and there's your answer, which is 24. All right, and this was question 5. Question 6, oh, that is 5 and 6, so we'll double click again. Or you can right click on it and rename it. Question 5 and 6. There we go. We've got 7. What promotion is working the best for you? So let's go to our working data. Insert. Let's see if it works if I can insert it right from here. Looks like it. Yep. Okay. What says number 7? What promotion is working best for you? So we take the promotion, quantity sold, and our answer is 97. Perfect. All right, and that is question 7. Question 8, does that promotion work best during all hours of the day? Well, let's take a look. Let's bring down our hours of the day, put it in columns, and it is the best here. Let's go ahead and do some conditional formatting. We want to conditionally format each and every column because we want it to format that column to make sure it's right for that time of day. And already we've got a problem. And we know it is not the most popular promotion across all times because here, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., it is not the winner. But we'll keep going just so that we can see. There we go. So the most popular at 10 a.m. to noon is 24. And then we go to 20% off. And then the next most popular one at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the frequent sipper card. And finally, we're back to the buy one, get half off your second juice from noon to 4. So that answer to that is no. All right, that's question 7 and 8. 7 and 8. Question 9, check in. We're checking in with ourselves. Let's do a deep dive into apple juice. So let's go back to our working data. And we're going to insert pivot table. Boom. And we want to know a lot about apple juice. So let's bring down type sold as a filter. And we can choose apple as our juice type. Now, you can choose multiple kinds. Let's say we wanted to know about apple and carrot. You would simply select multiple items and you'd be able to check 2 or 3. But in this case, we just want 1 and we just want apple, so we're good. Now we're going to be looking at results for just apple only. When do you sell the most and the least? So time of day. And of course we need quantity sold because we need something to count. So we sell the most at 10 to noon and an equal amount from 6 to 10, and we sell the least at noon to 4. What sizes sell well? You know, we can bring down. So let's go ahead, and this is question 10A. And then remember, Reed had that cool trick where he just moved or copied, and he moved. We're going to create a copy of the 10A, and it'll be right next to it, and we can make it 10B. B. And we're going to change what we're looking at. So instead of looking at when do you sell the most, we're going to look at what size sells well. So here we're going to click into our pivot table to bring up our pivot fields over here. We're going to take our time of day and throw it back up here. And instead we're going to take size and bring it down here. Our time of day did not go back up there. There it is. So this answers question 10B. What sizes sell well and what sizes sell least in apple juice. This is for apple juice only. So let's go ahead and use Reed's trick again. We're going to take 10B and create a copy. And we're going to call it 10. Rename it. And we're going to call it 10C. And here with 10C, what promotion works the best? Well, let's get rid of size purchased and instead bring down promotion used. And voila, there's our answer. We can conditionally format it. Oops. If we want to have a little bit of help, you probably don't need it with 5 or 6 things, but when you get into 25, you probably want to be using it. And does that promotion change based on the time of day? Let's go ahead, click back in here, and we bring time of day down as another filter. I don't know where it went. Okay. Oh, it didn't go. That's why. Time of day, bring it down as another filter. And this is all times of day. So let's go one by one. Let's start at 6 a.m. And it does appear to change. Okay. It used to be 20% off coupon was number 1. Now the free protein is. Let's look at another one. 10 a.m. to noon. Yep, back up to 20% off coupon. Let's look at noon to 4. Yeah, changes. Well, it's still 20% off coupon, so it doesn't change. And 4 p.m. to closing. And now it's buy one, sell, get 1.5 off your second. So it does shift. If we didn't want to use a filter and roll through all of those, we could take the time of day and just bring it over to columns. And then here we would unconditionally format it. Conditional formatting, clear rules from the selected cells, and we can see we could go through each one of these and conditionally format them as we did before. There we go, and you can see your green bar is moving, right? So the answer to the question is, does the promotion change based on the time of day? And the answer is yes. Okay, so that's 10C and D. So let's go ahead and relabel this, rename it 10C. Oops, bad job driving. 10C and D. There we go. All right, we're all done with the first 10 questions. Now we're going to chart the sales by product for the afternoon. So let's go ahead and go back to our working data. We're going to insert, it's highlighted already, so we're going to insert a pivot table. But you know what, to be safe, we're just going to click on it and Control A to make sure we have all our data. Let's not be lazy and end up with a pivot table that's not correct. That'd be terrible. All right, chart the sales by product for the afternoon from noon to 4. So we want to do sales by product for the afternoon from noon to 4. So time of day is going to be our filter. We're going to pick noon to 4 there. And we want to chart. So we're going to click anywhere in here and insert chart. And these are recommended charts that they think would look good. Well, I think that that does look nice, but I don't really like it that way. So I would do a bar chart. There we go. I like that better. So I'm doing a horizontal bar. There you go. And that's a chart of sales by products for the afternoon from noon to 4. Chart the sales of apple juice by time of day. All right, let's go back to our working data, which is apparently moved right off our screen. There it is. Oh, now what we need to do this is question 11. Working data, Control A, insert pivot table. Great. And this one, we need the sales of apple juice by time of day. So type sold is going to be our filter. Time of day is going to be our rows. Quantity sold is the value. And we're going to sales of apple juice. So we're going to get apple as our only juice. Then we're going to click on this, insert chart. I think a nice little bar chart would be great. Here, let's do a pie chart. Not good. Don't do pie charts. Doing an area chart, that's not very helpful. Certainly a line chart doesn't work because we're not doing a time series. So let's do columns. You're going to see a lot of bar charts in your life, and that's because they're really effective. So we'll use this one. There you go. And this is your time of day. And then as Reed showed us, we can rearrange it so it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to go from 10 to noon, 4 to 1, 6, and noon to 4. So let's see if we can make this rearrange the way we want it to. And he had us highlight this, right? And then move it. I'm not, move to beginning. There we go. And then 6 to 10, 10 to noon, and then we want this. We're going to right click and move it up 1, right? Up. There you go. So we're 6 to 10, 10 to noon, noon to 4, 4 to close. And now our chart looks correct for the time of day. You could probably use a line chart here if you wanted to change chart type because it is over time. So let's try a line chart. There you go. And that's what Reed used, I think, was a line chart. Good enough. All right, chart the use of promotions. All right, this is question 12. Question 12. Let's go to our working data. And we are almost done. We only have to do 2 more. Yay. All right, click in your data. Anywhere. Control A. Insert your pivot table. Okay. Chart the use of promotions. Promotion type used. We'll come down here to rows. Quantity sold is what's going into values. And now we click on here. We insert a recommended chart. And we're probably going to go with this. There you go. That was fast. And then, of course, we'd clean it up. We would declutter it. We would use our Gestalt principles. We use our pre-attentive attributes. We would look for ways to use more white space and alignment. We would then look at our AAAs, affordances, accessibility, and aesthetics. And then we would give it a fabulous title because we're now experts. Well, not experts, but getting close on how to do great visualization. So this is Q13. And finally, the chart the sizes sold during the 4 different times of day. Oh, this will be fun. Let's go back to our working data. Click here, Control A, insert pivot table. This is our last one. There we go. And they want to know the sizes sold during the 4 times of day. So first of all, quantity sold is what we're going to be counting. Time of day is going to be a column. And size purchased is a row. Okay, so let's see what this looks like when we just go with the insert chart, recommended chart. Oh, I like that. Okay, now notice that it's organized it by size. And this is helpful, but what if we wanted to see it by time of day? So the sizes sold during the 4 different times of day. We could do that easily by just swapping these 2. There you go. And this organizes it by time of day. And that's it. You made it through. Congratulations. You can now do pivot tables. Thanks for listening.